What if the clothes you wear could be monitored, judged, and used against you? In Iran, this isn't a hypothetical scenario. It's a stark reality. A new UN report has dropped a bombshell, revealing how the Iranian government is using cutting-edge technology to enforce its strict hijab laws. We're talking drones, facial recognition, and even a disturbing app that encourages citizens to snitch on each other. Is this the future of law enforcement, or a terrifying descent into totalitarian control? Let's dive into the details, because this story is far more complex and chilling than you might think. I'm your host, and today we're unpacking the UN report that exposes Iran's high-tech crackdown on women's freedom. Stay with me, because what we uncover will leave you questioning the very nature of surveillance and control in the 21st century. The core of this story comes from a damning UN report. The independent international fact-finding mission on the Islamic Republic of Iran has uncovered a disturbing trend: the increasing reliance on electronic surveillance to target women who aren't adhering to the country's mandatory hijab laws. This isn't just about cultural norms, it's about state-sponsored control over personal expression. The report details how Iranian officials are deploying aerial drone surveillance in public places. Imagine walking down the street knowing you're being watched from above, your every move scrutinized. But the surveillance doesn't stop there. Facial recognition software has been installed at Tehran's Amirkabir University, specifically designed to identify women not wearing the hijab. This creates a chilling effect, turning a place of learning into a site of potential punishment. And perhaps the most disturbing element is the Nazar mobile app. This app allows citizens to report on uncovered women in vehicles, effectively turning neighbors against each other. The consequences are severe, with reported cases of women being arrested, imprisoned, and even subjected to violence. This isn't just about breaking the law, it's about breaking the human spirit. The report paints a grim picture of a society where technology is weaponized against its own people. Let's break down the tech at play here. Facial recognition technology, or FRT, is a key component of Iran's surveillance system. FRT uses algorithms to identify individuals based on their facial features. The technology relies on deep learning, a subset of artificial intelligence, to analyze facial patterns and compare them against a database of known faces. In this case, the database likely contains images of women adhering to the hijab laws, allowing the system to flag those who don't. The accuracy of FRT is crucial here. False positives, where the system incorrectly identifies someone, can lead to wrongful accusations and unjust punishments. The ethical implications are profound. FRT raises serious concerns about privacy, bias, and the potential for misuse. As Kathy O'Neill argues in her book, Weapons of Math Destruction, algorithms can perpetuate and amplify existing inequalities. In Iran's case, FRT is being used to enforce a specific cultural and religious norm, potentially discriminating against women who choose not to conform. The deployment of FRT in public spaces creates a constant state of surveillance, eroding individual freedom and autonomy. It raises the question, how far should governments go in using technology to enforce social norms? Beyond facial recognition, the use of drones adds another layer of complexity to Iran's surveillance strategy. Drones offer a bird's-eye view, allowing authorities to monitor large areas and track individuals without being physically present. These drones are typically equipped with high-resolution cameras capable of capturing detailed images and videos. The data collected can then be analyzed using AI-powered algorithms to identify individuals who are not complying with the hijab laws. The use of drones raises questions about intrusiveness and the potential for abuse. The constant presence of drones overhead can create a sense of unease and intimidation, discouraging women from exercising their freedom of expression. Moreover, the data collected by drones could be used for other purposes, such as tracking political dissidents or monitoring social gatherings. The lack of transparency surrounding the use of drones further exacerbates these concerns. Without clear regulations and oversight, there is a risk that drone surveillance could be used to suppress dissent and violate individual rights. The deployment of drones in public spaces raises fundamental questions about the balance between security and freedom. Where do we draw the line between legitimate law enforcement and unwarranted intrusion into people's lives? Perhaps the most insidious aspect of Iran's surveillance strategy is the Nazar app. This app empowers citizens to report on each other, turning everyday interactions into potential acts of betrayal. Users can upload photos and videos of women who are not wearing the hijab, along with details such as the location, date, time, and vehicle license plate number. This information is then used to flag the vehicle and send a warning message to the owner, threatening to impound the vehicle if the violation continues. The Nazar app represents a disturbing trend towards state-sponsored vigilantism. By encouraging citizens to monitor and report on each other, the government is creating a climate of fear and distrust. This can have a chilling effect on freedom of expression and discourage women from exercising their rights. Moreover, the app raises concerns about privacy and the potential for abuse. The data collected by the app could be used to track individuals, harass them, or even subject them to violence. The lack of accountability and oversight surrounding the app further exacerbates these concerns. The Nazar app is a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked surveillance and the erosion of individual rights in the name of security. To understand the current situation in Iran, it's crucial to consider the historical context. The mandatory hijab law has been in place since the 1979 Islamic Revolution. Over the years, there have been periods of stricter and more lenient enforcement. However, in recent years, the government has taken a more hardline approach, particularly following the death of Mahsa Amini in 2022. Amini's death, which occurred while she was in police custody for allegedly violating the hijab law, sparked widespread protests across Iran. These protests, led primarily by women, challenged the authority of the government and called for greater personal freedom. In response, the government has intensified its crackdown on dissent, using technology to monitor and control the population. The current situation is not just about the hijab, it's about the broader struggle for human rights and freedom of expression in Iran. The government's use of technology to enforce its laws is a reflection of its desire to maintain control in the face of growing opposition. The future of Iran depends on the outcome of this struggle. Will the government continue to suppress dissent, or will it allow greater freedom and autonomy for its citizens? Now, let's address some potential counterarguments. Some might argue that the hijab is a cultural norm in Iran and that the government is simply enforcing its own laws. Others might suggest that the surveillance measures are necessary to maintain order and prevent social unrest. However, these arguments fail to address the fundamental issue of human rights. The right to personal expression and freedom of choice are universal rights that should be protected, regardless of cultural norms or political considerations. Moreover, the use of technology to enforce these laws raises serious ethical concerns. Surveillance and control are not the answer to social problems. Instead, the government should focus on addressing the root causes of unrest, such as economic inequality and political repression. A society that values freedom and justice is more likely to be stable and prosperous in the long run. The use of technology to suppress dissent is a short-sighted strategy that will ultimately backfire. It's time for the Iranian government to respect the rights of its citizens and embrace a more open and democratic society. So, what can be done to address this issue? First and foremost, the international community must hold Iran accountable for its human rights violations. This includes imposing sanctions on individuals and entities involved in the surveillance and repression of women. Second, technology companies must ensure that their products are not being used to violate human rights. This means implementing safeguards to prevent the misuse of facial recognition technology, drone surveillance, and other surveillance tools. Third, civil society organizations must continue to support women in Iran who are fighting for their rights. This includes providing legal assistance, advocacy, and financial support. Finally, the Iranian government must engage in a dialogue with its citizens and address their concerns. This means repealing the mandatory hijab law, releasing political prisoners, and allowing greater freedom of expression. The path forward is not easy, but it is essential to protect human rights and promote a more just and equitable society in Iran. The world is watching, and the future of Iran depends on the choices that its leaders make today. The situation in Iran has broader implications for the future of surveillance and control around the world. As technology becomes more sophisticated and accessible, governments and corporations are increasingly using it to monitor and influence our behavior. This raises serious concerns about privacy, freedom of expression, and the potential for abuse. We must be vigilant in protecting our rights and ensuring that technology is used to empower, not control, us. The Iranian case serves as a stark warning about the dangers of unchecked surveillance and the erosion of individual liberties. It's a reminder that we must always be vigilant in defending our freedoms and holding our leaders accountable. The future of freedom depends on our ability to harness the power of technology for good, not for evil. What do you think? Is this a violation of basic human rights? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more in-depth analysis of the latest tech and its impact on society. Your support helps us continue to bring you these important stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.